Court Reporter with Stovall and Associates.
Welcome back to Court Reporter with Stovall and Associates. We'll continue on with Nye County Commissioner Butch Boraski for District 4. We were just talking about the Integrity Taxi service that's seeking their licensing to move people between Las Vegas and Pahrump and within Pahrump itself. I've actually had a fair amount of people comment or have questions about why do we have a Las Vegas company coming into Pahrump to provide a taxi service. Can you speak a little to that?
Yeah, well, one reason is we don't have a taxi service here anymore. And they were made aware of that, and they wanted to extend their service out here to Pahrump. They'll provide service all through Pahrump, and of course back and forth to Vegas if needed. They already have a service taking medical patients back and forth right now. So to them, they would like to be able to service the whole valley. They're really quality people. If anybody's met any of them, they're just super good people. And they provide a pretty decent ride. I mean, it's no old junkers you're going to ride in. They're decent machines.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that this is all based around the healthcare contingent? And how are people outside of this new proposed taxi service, how are they getting around town and how are they getting to Las Vegas? Do we have any idea?
No, I think I have no idea how people can manage to get there without some kind of public transportation. I'm not sure. I couldn't answer that question. I don't know how somebody could do that. If they don't have their own ride, obviously they would have to pay someone else to take them.
We at the firm have actually subsidized people's rides into Las Vegas when they can't see, doctors here in town. Mm-hmm. So it actually affects us personally. That kind of goes to a new business in town and segues over to a regular theme that we always talk about on the show, and that's economic development. Mm-hmm. One of the big hot button issues with economic development from the county commissioner side is the impact fees. Now we've had a moratorium on them for some time, but now we're coming up to an expiration of the year that it was being deferred. Where do we stand on the issues today as far as the county commission?
Well, if we're going to go back into impact fees, we already had instructed staff to look at alternatives, to look at better ways to do it, phase it in, payment plans, when and if we get back there. And we have a different board now than we had a couple of years ago. And there might be a different mood among the commissioners to maybe extend another year or switch over to a plan of working with the businesses in either payment plans, deferred payments. There's a lot of options that we can do in that. Public Works can defer road improvements. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be done. And so that you as an investor or someone else coming in doesn't have to pay everything up front.
Do you think that those impact fees before the moratorium was put in place actually served as a detriment for new business?
I know a couple of developers in town that said it didn't bother them at all. They knew that most areas have that and they have to pay it. Mm-hmm. They were aware of it up front when they built their projects. They knew how to work with Nye County, go through our system, and what to expect. And there's been a lot of buildings built in town, and a couple of different individuals have had no complaints. I mean, they knew that most areas you do have to pay impact fees. Somebody has to pay to keep these roads paved, to pave new ones, to bring in water lines. I mean, all of these things cost money. Mm-hmm. And when the county started impact fees 7 or 8, 9, 10 years ago, whenever it was, they had calculations on other areas and how they did it. I have a few people in town that have said repeatedly that impact fees drive businesses away. Well, we haven't had impact fees in 18 months. So we're sure not driving anybody away with impact fees. But on the other hand, nobody's breaking the door down to build. It's the economy. It's the economy. They used to call it, it's the economy stupid.
Right.
I think that was a phrase during Bill Clinton's term or something. You just have to look at that the economy's bad right now. It's starting to turn around. You've seen it, I've seen it. Las Vegas is booming. Not booming, but they're really building again. And when they build, and then when they get going, people want to get away from there and come up here in a more rural atmosphere where it's quiet and don't have that so much traffic and everything. So
let me ask you, speaking of building and what we've seen as far as the perceived economic turnaround, or I should say momentum, let's say in Southern Nevada, particularly Las Vegas, Clark County, do you have a concern with residential housing still being valued far below replacement value, and commercial buildings sitting vacant and people building at this point in time?
Mm-hmm. Well, it kind of dumbfounds me why, when there's so many vacant buildings, why anybody would be building. But not everybody that comes here wants to buy an old home or a used home. Or a lot of people come here with money, retired from all over the country, and they want more than what's out there right now. The buildings are. The commercial space that's out there right now is starting to fill up a little bit. We have another person right now trying to build a senior living facility. I just hope that they've done a really good business plan on it, because we just had one built and it's not full by any means. There's a very low number of clients over there right now, but they're surviving and they're getting by. I would have thought that that new senior living would have filled up right away, but apparently it hasn't. Of course, it could have to do with the economy.
We're going to take our second commercial break and come back. We'll talk about a recent ruling, or a recent vote that you guys took on regarding the public safety agencies and its failure to pass amongst the county commission. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Court reporter with Stovall and Associates.